NANI?!
Yo, what's happening?
Oh,
Hey, yo, it's been a fatty minute.
it
Oh my
has.
goodness.
It really has.
Dude, we so back right now. Uh,
Yeah.
we have a little special recording, right? For
Mm-hmm.
everyone's faith holes today. Um, without giving too much away, um, me, myself, Icy,
Mm-hmm.
and Sir Hooligan over there, Mr. J.
You know it.
Uh, we are admittedly, our identities are kept a secret as much as possible, right? That's sort of the niche here.
Yeah.
But I think it goes without saying that if you've seen I'm sure if you've seen our podcasts, and some of our sound bites, it might be a little obvious to you that we are not, we're not of the palm color, we're not of the palm colored people, right?
Oh,
So, you
yeah. That's fair.
so what we have for you today is something near and dear to our souls and our heritage, if you will. Something that is not only a huge pop culture moment, actually, but also something that really connects uh to each and every one of us, right? Uh, at least our
Yeah.
ancestry, right?
Mhm.
Without being vague anymore, I'll just hop into it. Since we are reacting to Bad Bunny's short film, as
Sir.
alongside his I guess it would be kind of, I don't know, controversial to say it's his most famous song out of the album, but it's one of them. And it is the let me pull it up right here. Let's see, just all right, making sure I get that on screen. Here it is. There it is. His short film,
Ooh.
DeBÍ TiRAR MáS FOToS, bro. I couldn't pronounce it any worse because I am shaking with excitement. It is something I already watched. I will admit.
Yeah, you did.
I watched it. The reason I went ahead and watched it before showcasing it,
Cannot wait.
our live reaction, is because I was spoiled with some of it. It was making the rounds. It was trending, and I had to see what's up. And it made me very emotional. So I decided to watch the full thing, and wow, it is incredibly powerful. It's something that's not really talked about a lot in our Hispanic heritages. um, it's something that everyone's noticed, but no one really likes to speak on because of its intricacies and delicateness, right?
Hmm.
Um, so I went ahead
Yeah.
and watched it, and I have a couple reaction. I've worked on a couple of reactionary things from my grandparents, who are directly from Puerto Rico. Um,
Mm.
man, I got stories about that. If anyone would ever want to hear about that in the future.
I want to hear it.
I mean, hey, I got a couple. We can make a whole series out of this. True.
Oh, there you go.
Oh man, maybe an
Sweet.
animated series, right?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, so I wanted to show this to Mr. J over here, who's
Hmm.
he himself is Mexicano, right? He's straight up.
Oh.
I don't know what are you like, first, second generation, what?
I am actually second.
Second generation.
Yeah.
See, bruh, it's like that. it really be like this out
Mhm.
here, bro. We get man, dude. There's so much like so much history, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So much history that I feel
Hmm.
like we should be able to cover, even in just this short film, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, because this touches on a couple different things.
It
And
does. I
I
mean,
think, yeah.
go ahead. You can go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm so sorry. I know you're gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, even the title alone, like from my experience, anyways. Like my father only has one photo of my grandparents, and that's when like he was a kid. They took
Mm,
family portrait for whatever reason. Um,
hmm.
that's the only photo I've ever seen of mine.
Yeah, man. It really is like that. For some reason, with with Hispanic households, in the older generation, they always said we love to live in the moment. We don't like to
Right.
take too many photos. It gets in the way of things, they think.
Hmm.
Um, so
Right.
us being second, third generation, uh, um, from our heritages and cultures, we really see the necessity for this, right?
Mhm.
Um, we'll get to it right now. We'll get to it right now. No more lollygagging.
Sure. Sure.
Let's press play right about. Should we do the overlay? Actually, should I do that?
Yeah, you can if you'd like. Go ahead.
This would be a
I
little
don't
safer.
object.
Let's be a little extra safe. Uh, boom. Okay, here we go. We'll get to the questions afterwards.
Okay. Always with the flag,
Mm.
man.
Hey, what do you mean, bro? That's how it is.
Oh, I know it.
Man, that flag on everything.
Que muchas cosas he vivido. Conocí
That
mucha
seasoning.
gente buena. Fui a muchos países, a casi todas partes del mundo, pero ninguna como Puerto Rico, no como lo que era antes. Aquí había algo, no sé qué, una magia increíble, y todavía la hay, todavía la hay. Quisiera haber tirado más fotos para enseñarte. Las fotos son momentos vividos, recuerdos de cosas que pasaron. Yo no era de estar tirando fotos por ahí, ni estar subiendo stories, ni nada de eso. Yo decía que era mejor vivir el momento. Pero cuando llegas a esta edad, recordar no es tan fácil. Debí tirar más fotos, haber vivido más. Debí haber amado más cuando pude. Mientras uno está vivo, uno debe amar lo más que pueda.
Por eso es que yo lo amo mucho a usted.
Y yo también a ti, Concho. Yo también a ti.
Jeez, looks like my grandfather. Oh my gosh.
Mira,
It's insane.
esta es mi foto favorita.
¡Wow! Esa foto me gusta mucho. Ahora esa también es mi favorita.
Han pasado muchos años, pero recuerdo este día como si hubiera sido ayer.
Acho, a mí como que se me ha metido un hambre. ¿A usted no?
Pues mira qué casualidad. A mí también. Ay. Hey, voy a ir a la panadería a comprar algo. ¿Qué quieres que te traiga?
Lo mismo de siempre.
That's funny. The machete on the wall. This was faithful,
How did
bro.
we catch that? uh,
Jeez.
Like a girl, really. Knock it off. Hurry up.
Oh, really? Just like close by. Okay, so we can just drive there or walk there.
Jeez, bro. So much I want to say.
you can pause and say it. Like,
I mean, hey, bro. We're gonna get to it. Don't worry.
all right.
I mean, there's quite a bit already that they've already shown. This is where the meat potatoes come in.
Okay.
Buenos dias. Welcome to the Flamboyant Panaderia. Can I take your order?
Muy buenas. Una tripleta.
Sorry, we are all out of tripletas.
Well, pastrami.
Yeah, we have pastrami.
Okay, pastrami, eggs and cheese.
Criollo bread, Sobao bread, Mallorca bread, or sweet medianoche bread.
Lord.
Criollo bread.
Whole wheat Criollo or normal Criollo.
Normal.
American cheese, right?
No, I prefer Papa cheese.
Papa, like father?
No, not like father. Like Papa.
I know.
Papa cheese.
Hey, I know what he wants. It's okay. Tirame uno de papa.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, anything else?
no, that's all. Perdón, no, se me olvidó algo. Sorry. I also want a quesito. It's for a friend of mine, my friend Concho.
Okay. Regular quesito, bacon quesito, or guava quesito.
Yeah, bro.
We also have vegan quesitos. Let me just check to see if we still have some.
She said vegan casino, my boy.
MS out of here.
Cheeseless quesitos are all gone. We sell them fast. Sorry.
I want a traditional quesito.
You mean regular, right?
Hey, yo,
Yes, regular.
he pushing it too.
Okay, your total is $30.
$30, bro.
Wow.
Pues, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't take cash.
I was here a couple of weeks ago and I paid with cash.
We just implemented the new system this last Monday. It's corporate policy to offer our clients a cashless environment. But you can pay with your phone.
Okay. Can I pay you later?
I am sorry, mister, but I cannot prepare your food until the order is paid in full.
No, but please, I knew the original owner.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I understand.
Tranquilo, don. Seguimos aquí.
Sí, seguimos aquí. Y gracias.
No, no, no. Gracias a usted.
Joven, tu dinero.
Se apure, señor. Chavos son suyos. Son 30 pesos.
Gracias.
Sheesh, bro.
You're all set.
Oh man.
Oye, yo no sabía que había quesito sin queso.
¿Cómo es eso?
Yo digo que si le van a sacar el queso, pues deberían ponerles otro nombre desde ya.
Ujú.
¿Escuchaste eso?
¿Escuchar qué?
Esa música.
Yo no oigo nada.
Cabrón, escucha eso, escucha.
Eso suena bien duro.
Mira eso. Tremendo. Por aquí no pasaba un carro así con música hace, chacho, yo no sé cuánto tiempo.
Yo creo que yo nunca había visto uno.
No, si te digo, ya eso casi ni se ve. Yo me emociono cuando pasa uno. Extraño mucho escuchar la muchachería, las motoritas, el sonido del barrio.
Bueno, y si eso ya no lo hace nadie, ¿por qué no lo hace usted?
¿Hacer qué?
Dar vueltas por ahí con el músico prendido.
I love the cinematography. Look, I got it. Right.
Bueno, pues entonces vamos a seguir viendo más fotos.
Ya te dije que no tengo tantas. Yo te voy a enseñar las que tengo. Y voy a tratar de recordar las que no tiré. ¿Ok?
Yo pienso que debemos tirar una foto de hoy.
Pues claro, la tiramos.
Like that. Yeah. Play a little bit of the ending. Get to hear. Yeah. Yeah. You get to hear me Isla, bro. You gotta hear that right now. That's all it is. Ooh, you hear it? Oh, that was beautiful.
It's awesome.
Kind of hear the coquille a little bit in the back. All right, that's where the pause go. But yeah, so that was an experience.
Yeah.
Honestly, what are your thoughts on it? I just okay. Let's break it down a little bit. Okay, first we see
Yep.
them talking about wishing he took more photos, right?
Yep.
Initially, he's speaking with Kancho, the little cookie animated one. And he's not only wishing he took more photos, but not just because like it would have more memories, but because
Yeah.
him at his age, right? It could give him like a more clear picture of it. Of what
Right.
had happened at that time.
Mhm.
You even stated that in your family, like your elders never took many photos.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on just that in general right now?
They're taking photos, like taking more photos.
Yeah, like what's your stance on that?
I would have liked it because then like future generations can like look back at the photos and see like who their great grandparents were, or their great 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 grandparents were,
Mm-hmm.
what they, how often they got together, whether it be taking like picture with family at family events, or just kind of what they did. I mean, the house they lived in, all that.
Yeah,
I think it would have been nice.
definitely. I agree. It'll add more to, because even looking in the history books of like there's a huge generalization of
Yeah,
how people lived in the past, right?
right, right.
Having those photos would mean so much, not to just the individual, not just the family as a group, but also it just to our culture, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so that alone would be amazing. I agree. As for how when I asked this question towards my grandmother and my grandfather, my grandmother says that she stands for taking photos as frequently as possible
Wow.
because of that. Um, and I could agree, because every day, bro. You know the photo I showed of her wearing the bag?
Yeah.
That is a constant thing. I'll let you know.
Man, awesome.
As far as how my grandfather thinks, he's older. He's about 10 years older than her.
Okay.
Um, he agrees that photos are better in general. However, he's very used to the frequent like changes the generations make ahead of time.
Yeah.
So like he'll be like, okay, yeah, photos are better, but in his time back then, it was not normal. It was not a thing that they did, so they were very anti it. So he's really kind of indifferent.
Yeah.
But it's a stance that I could kind of understand from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as let's say the situation where he was on his way to the panaderia. I can't say it. I'm tripping. I'm legit like emotional a little bit. My bad if I'm tripping over my words, but it's
That's
like,
her.
dang, bruh. Um, because as you can see, I feel very strongly. I'm not cool with how it's changing so quickly. That's
Yeah.
specifically so quickly. Um, it just feels like they're treating. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. But on his way to get the food, right?
Yeah.
Um, you see him and sort of run into a lot of people who are clearly not from the island, right? So
Yeah.
they're clearly there for either an Airbnb
Yep.
or visiting someone, right? They're just kind of on vacation, right? In general.
Yeah.
Um, I want to know some of your thoughts on that, right? How people are treating sort of their surroundings, of somewhere that has a lot of culture before them.
Right. um, I am for it if you like go to that country and like respect that country's culture rules,
Hmm.
the unspoken rules that you just like don't do. Um,
Mm.
and like kind of Mexico's been having this problem where like Americans have been moving there and just being really jerks, like
Yeah, yeah.
about the music at night and I think, I don't remember, but I think they almost got this one like what restaurant shut down because they were living apartments above or near to this restaurant, but that restaurant has been there for like years before they
Oh
moved in.
wow,
Yeah, and they were complaining about like the mariachis coming around and playing music at the restaurant or outside of the restaurant
wow, bro.
loud. Like like then just don't live there. I mean, no one's forcing you to live there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Choice. I'm not gonna go to Japan and complain about, you know, just normalities that happen
Mm.
there. Maybe with their statues. Like I'm not gonna disrespect the statues. Like
Too many
hurt
Tory
people, but-
gates.
yeah, right.
Mistake sushi, it's everywhere.
Yeah, right. Not gonna complain about none of that or how they dress or nothing, but
Right, yeah.
like where you are,
Right. It's something to be
like your
expected.
place, people.
It's when if you're going to somewhere with such rich and deep history that's tied to so many aspects of the surrounding cultures as well. Like you don't just go there with you have to go there with sense, right? Some
Yeah.
semblance of self-awareness and understand that these people have been there longer than you.
Oh
They
yeah.
have a certain code of ethics that you just don't are not privy to, right? This is something that people need to understand when they travel in general, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's unfortunate because even when people go to travel, I feel like they treat it as like a vacation because oh, it's somewhere new and it's sort of something that like uh novelty, right?
Mhm.
Or something of the sort. But like in reality,
Right.
like these are human beings, you know. This
Yeah.
is ground that you is sacred to some people, you know.
Uh,
So it's just I don't know. That lack of
right.
awareness is insane. Um, as far as how my grandmother felt,
Hmm.
she said she absolutely abhors the changes that are made to Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
She detests its modernization and believes that it is completely soulless. Because she recounts growing up, right? If you wanted to go eat, you would go to that location wherever it may be, and you could, as the guy said, like you could just pay later. Like that was a normal thing. You can just be
Yeah.
like, oh, I know the guy, he got me, we're good. And everything was very cut and dry, communication based, right? There
Yeah.
wasn't that sort of, as she said, oh, it's store policy. All of our restaurants have to be, paid with a credit card. It's like that wasn't a thing. That policy was like not existent. Policy like that was not existent. It was very, um, I trust you. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it really, that sort of what's the word? Is it commercialization? Is that the word?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like just kind of making everything like s- like local business is selling to big corporations essentially.
yeah. It's like painful, dude.
It is.
Um, you
That's
know,
the unfortunate thing about like tourism. It raises the prices, and then the people there can't really afford that just
mhm,
because, I mean, they get paid completely differently wages than we do.
mhm.
So, like,
It causes like a sort of drought, right? In
yeah,
ethics and in not just in ethics, but like in a very real one with your pockets, even.
yeah,
um, like it's insane how it's the just having one corporation set foot on that land. It really just destroys like a black hole. It just like sort of destroys the communities and all that.
right. Because they don't really care about the people there. They just want the money that's going to come in.
Exactly.
They just see the profit. They don't see how
Hmm.
it's going to affect the community or anything like that. I mean, really unfortunate because, I mean, if the housing prices go up or the groceries, takeout food, whatever it may be, like people start to struggle more and can't really afford that just because
Exactly.
they don't get paid quite as much as we do.
Yeah, that's true. Continuing. On my grandfather's side, as I stated before, he's sort of indifferent. He says he understands that changes need to be made because it's how things happen as progress takes place. Ultimately, he misses the island and its society pre-USA, and claims it used to be full of heart, right?
Yeah.
As I even said earlier, like it was very um woven in trust, and if you know somebody, then you're good, right? And everyone used to know somebody, right? It was
Yeah.
there wasn't that electronics, right, aspect of it. There wasn't that um much even tech in general, right? There
Oh,
was
yeah,
just
no,
people like saying showing up and they'd be like, "Hey, boss man, what's up?" And that person
no.
knowing your whole family, it was very casual.
Right. I
Um,
mean, like, even today, if you go to a like an actual Mexican or Hispanic supermarket, like
mhm,
random people just say like, "Hey, what's up?" or "How you doing?"
mhm,
They just like talk to you if you're in the same aisle or something or in passing.
exactly.
So that's kind of like the big difference between the cultures.
Honestly, yeah, I agree.
Like they're
Um,
more personable. I can't
true.
even say it.
No, that's yeah, you got it. Yeah,
I did.
that's true. Okay. Sort of going forward, you see him finally getting to the place to eat, and he's having trouble with the lady who obviously took one of those,
Jerk.
middle school Spanish class, right? The middle school Spanish classes. She's trying her hardest. She got the bilingual spot at the register,
Right.
um, and she's doing her best. She's asking him what he wants, and he responds with like wanting a what was it? A tripleta, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Uh, oof, yeah. And she's like, "Don't got it." Off the
Right.
rip, starts going down. Then he was like, "Okay, what about pastrami, right?" And she's like, "Got
Yeah.
you." And and then she proceeds to do the Starbucks lingo, and she's
Yeah, right.
like, "How do you want it?" And this is just not the way, right?
No.
That's just not how he's or any of our older generation is used to it, right? They're
Yeah.
very I said what I want, give it to me. You know exactly what I'm
Right.
talking about. You
Right.
know, there's not like you don't go to a bar and you're like, I want whiskey. They're like, okay, do you want vanilla whiskey? Do you want? It's like,
Yeah,
no,
right.
bro, give me the dang whiskey. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
Yeah.
kind of that same premise. It's um he went there looking for some a specific meal, and she couldn't just provide it. And that's another thing with the commercialization um of 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 society that sort of my grandparents also touched on. Um, saying my grandmother says she feels that the experience the man had was shameful and merciless on behalf of the workers, and was even upset that the man who helped pay helped too late. She said that it
Oh,
wouldn't have even felt like an option of helping him, uh, or not pre-modernization. Um, and she stated she also felt bad about the food exchange as well, where they
okay.
didn't have what he wanted. They were like a vegan quesito. Like it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Oh man. But yeah, so she was upset about that too. She was also upset that the guy who offered to pay, yeah, like she said, pay too late, He watched it all go down. He saw the guy sort of struggle with her rather than just say, okay, you clearly have the better English, right? You clearly see him like she's, you clearly know exactly what he wants. You could have just made the order for him.
Right.
So there's that sort of thing. My grandfather, his side of things, he's like, he believes the treatment was more connected to the guy's age rather than it being connected to the modernization and just like the unspoken rules in the society pre that. Um, which is also an interesting take, honestly, because I know the short film was made about, right? It's made about that sort of thing, the modernization of the society that they were in, but he thinks it's tied more to his age, the treatment he received.
Yeah, that could be. I mean,
Hmm.
I feel they don't treat white as good as they probably should.
Right, right.
I mean, it, yeah, it kind of seemed to me like she had a little attitude because both his English like um wasn't perfect and his and just like the things he'd asked for and everything.
Hmm.
Like like it was either wasn't there or he was confused at like why she's asking so many questions about this one order.
Right.
So I mean I get that, yeah. It is
So,
unfortunate.
what are your thoughts about like the treatment of, I guess, going into that, right? What are your
Uh-huh.
thoughts of like the treatment of the elderly post modernization versus how it was pre?
I think it's gotten a lot worse
Mm.
because there's so much like some music, but more so like shows and movies and all that where they kind of treat them poorly and treat them as like they don't know anything and they're just stuck in like this time period. They need to change and conform to like what's what's like the standard now and everything.
Hmm.
It's not.
Definitely.
I just don't think appreciate them as much. If it feels like they think of them as more like dead weight.
Hmm. Yeah, I completely
They're
agree.
so quick to put them in nursing homes and all this. And they don't want to, keep
Hmm.
them at their house or have them live there until they pass.
Hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with your take on that.
Right.
I mean, it is really unfortunate. I don't know where that comes from though, honestly, right? Because even as a society and how we are nowadays,
Uh-huh.
or at least how I was brought up and how I'm sure you were brought up, we're not just in our heritage, but in general known to like respect our elders, you know? That's
Right.
something that's like kind of woven in like Western culture, you know, as it is. Um, so like I wonder where that sort of disrespect or disdain, I guess, comes from um when people reach a certain age. It's even like, I guess you can even bring into like that subject where people are like calling others old once they hit 30, you know? That
Right.
whole thing. It's like it's not. It's
Yeah.
not, and also like even if it was, so like what's why is there a stigma with getting older? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Um
It's I don't know if it's I don't know if postmodernism is the correct way to describe that.
mhm.
Um I feel like it's like it kind of came about with the whole oh what is it like the population control.
Maybe.
So like they kind of want to get rid of the old to like
Mhm.
that the younger generation can,
Oh, I see what
I
you're
guess,
saying.
what they think is like thrive, or there's more
Yeah.
space and not as many people to take care of.
Oh, I see what you're
But
saying.
right,
That's
I
sort
think
of
it's just like a ridiculous way of thinking, ridiculous belief. Like depopulation. There we go. That's the word.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's it's just
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that it took years to get to this point. You know, it was.
Lord did, yeah.
I definitely agree. Even that slogan that you said. I don't know if you recognize that you said it. The out with the old, in with the new. That whole slogan. That was.
Oh yeah, I did
What
realize.
was that? What was that, like 50s? It's a 50s slogan, 60s
Oh,
slogan.
I, you may be correct. I'm honestly not positive.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing with like how corporations really wanted people to sort of get in that habit of getting rid of products that sat for a while, right? Which is which is a corporation type thing, because we know how things were initially supposed to be made. They were made to last, right? And that it's when the corporations got together, right? I forgot what specifically which ones did, but corporations got together and they it was after the invention. Was it the invention of the light bulb? Was it that the light bulbs that were supposed to last forever? Um,
Oh right, I know.
or was it the invention of the battery? It was one of those.
I think it was. I think it was battery. I want to say.
Right. It was around that time that where they were like, okay, we want things to not last a long too long of a time,
Right.
so we can make more money, sort of recycling what we have. Um, and that sort of, I think, sparked a whole revolution within industries where that out with the old and in with the new slogan sort of made the rounds, and sort of people started like treating uh property as if it meant nothing. And if people if you work on people's greed, right, that'll initially turn from property to person, right?
Yeah.
It's just what that is, and it's unfortunate that people started seeing others as property, right, in that sense. But it's just it's the human mind. That's just what that is. Once you shove it down people's mouths enough, they'll get used to the taste, So, and the people knowing that that's sort of what became the norm, right? That we're supposed to get rid of older things, and that there's so many reasons to get rid of these older things, and that these things are there to only weigh us down, and this and that.
Right.
It wasn't a surprise that after eating that sort of content long enough, people will just relate that to everyday things.
Yeah. The whole
So
materialized.
yeah, so I think I agree with what you're saying. That is where that came from, and that's unfortunate. Um, that is definitely where that came from. That's population control. That's all of that. That's woven into that. Um, man, it's definitely unfortunate. I'm glad you brought that up. It did answer my question too. Geez, man, it's unfortunate. Reeling it back and
Yeah.
we kind of
Straight up.
we a little bit, but like we back. Okay. I mean, wrapping it up for the end of the short film. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Um, what are your thoughts on the history of our um areas where we were born, right? Or our elders were
Hmm.
born, I'll say.
Um.
What are your thoughts on that in general, and how it affects our elders?
Like they were born in like
Yeah. So
I don't know what you're getting at.
for example, as you know, as is obvious, my elders were born in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
How it affects them is different from how it affects us. You know.
Mm.
So like, what are your thoughts on that? On like why that is, and um, let's say if we were go back to like our roots, right?
Yeah.
Um, how would our experience differ, and how and is that okay that it does or would?
I mean, I think because where they came from and how they grew up was like completely different from here.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in Mexico, for example, there are certain times at like the end of the week or something when the whole town will have like a big party,
Mm-hmm.
and like certain people would be in charge of like cooking the pozole or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
you make like large amounts, and the whole like town neighborhood, even sometimes the next town will like get together and come through and like get food and eat together, socialize.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like that in America. It's completely different. You're more so kind of isolate yourself. You just like
Right. Right.
do your own thing. You don't really talk to your neighbors much, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's the language barrier. Obviously, they got to get over.
Right.
Like when my grandparents came here, they only spoke Spanish, and then my father and his siblings only spoke Spanish, and then they got enrolled in school, so it was kind of hard for them to learn just
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't really speak the language, and obviously they got picked on for that and all that. And then after school, you'd help you'd work for your family and help like bring money in so they can pay the bills and
Right.
everything. Just because that's how they were used to it. Like my dad and his brother would work in a field and pick berries
Mm-hmm.
to like help support the family. And it's just not like there aren't really any American kids that go out and do
Right.
that,
I mean, of course.
you know? Like they stay home and do whatever nowadays on their freaking iPad or
Oh gosh. Yeah.
phone or whatever is kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
um, that was one thing it kind of touched on at the end there, like missing the sound of scooters and stuff in the streets, or
Mm-hmm.
like sounds of the neighborhood. Like,
Oh
yeah, you
yeah.
don't really have that anymore. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's inside on their phones or playing video games, whatever it may be, and there's not children playing outside anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's I mean that's unfortunate.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like that's how you'd make friends with the neighbor kids or whatever. Y'all get together and play football or
Mm-hmm.
basketball or kick the can or whatever.
Facts. Facts.
It was just a
Definitely.
fun time.
Uh-huh. I mean, even growing up, I think even I got a little taste of that, you know.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was just what that was. Um, Nowadays, like you said, it's all They're glued, man.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone
Jeez.
wants to be a TikToker or content
Oh
creator,
yeah.
or streamer, or something like.
And we can't fault them on that too because the money's there, right? The socialism is that's where it is. You know, that's kids want to be um trendsetters, right? They're
Yeah,
at a certain age you kind of get tired of wanting to follow trends, I feel like. You know.
yeah, yeah. I just don't
Uh,
think you should do it just because your favorite YouTuber does it or something. Like you
mm,
should do your own thing. I mean,
facts, I agree.
you never know. You could be the one to cure some disease or come out with some product that
Definitely.
benefits a lot of people. Like,
I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I'm
there's
like,
so many things that have not been invented yet that I feel
yeah,
like, I mean, with the right backing, you're good, right?
mhm,
You
yeah,
you set yourself up and your family up for the best. It doesn't always have to be a a servant to entertainment. You know,
right.
I mean, a service to entertainment, right? You don't always have to do that. Yeah, no, the way of the jester isn't always beneficial for everyone, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
not everyone's gonna be successful at that or
also
made to be
that,
successful at that.
right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure it's never talked about. I'm sure there's millions, dude, of people. I will say millions of people who
uh,
just can't do it.
yeah,
They can't do it. It's not in them, you know. And
right.
that it's not to say like, oh, it's like you're a special person if you have it in you. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah,
Like what I'm saying is those people who are like who have it in them to do that, that's probably the the most painful thing like for a person who doesn't have it in them to do.
yeah,
Honestly, it's probably the most tedious, mind-numbing, just painful thing to even try. I know with even TikTok, sitting in front of your phone making a video
yeah.
feels cringe, right? It's like, what am I doing? You know?
Yeah.
So like, I can't imagine just 8 hours or more every single day non-stop to build that rapport, build that fan base, hoping you pop off. There was this girl, actually, she just got found out by Kaiser Nat about
Okay.
a month, maybe 3 months ago, around that time. And she actually had the longest record for streaming.
Oh,
And she was pretty much unknown, absolutely unknown
oh wow.
comparatively. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Man.
and she had the longest record. I think it was like 3 years or something longer of just streaming nonstop, like every day. Like, I mean, she had it set up where it was like like breathed streaming. Like it was everyone knew everything about her. She had it scheduled to where she couldn't like leave her phone, like or something, some device to stream on.
Holy smokes.
It was like really like wild and very unhinged, and that's not for everyone, man.
Yeah.
That's not, dude. She got lucky at that one because they looked up. This is how they found her. They Googled or ChatGPT or something longest person who was longest streaming, and they
Okay.
found her on a list. And then I think it was either on the list or someone called it out, or it was one of those things.
Oh, okay.
Like a viewer, and they looked it up, and she just popped up, and that's when finally she made it.
Man.
It was insane, dude. That's just not for everyone, man. That's excruciating, honestly. You hear
Uh-huh.
stories from like Queso and stuff like that. Like they stream nonstop, and like they just hit it big. Queso hit it big because he was okay with people calling him fat.
Yeah.
That's not for everyone, bro. It's not. Streamers back then made it big because they had a niche. The niche was
Mhm.
gaming. It was having a certain personality and a very outward in your face personality for their time. Um FaZe
Yeah.
made it big because they were crap talkers, and pretty good trick shotters and stuff like that. Optic made it big because of that back then, of similar things, but also because of their um controversial tendencies. Things like that. Like you just XQC makes it big because of how he speaks and where he's from. It's just what that is.
Mhm.
It's not for everyone. It really isn't, and that's completely fine. You know,
100%.
like yeah, man, 100% for sure. Um, again, reeling it back in. Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that about covers it all, the entire video.
Okay.
My personal take, my takeaway from it is
Yeah.
I agree with the old guy at the beginning, man. I believe his name is Jacob Morales. Um,
What's
I
it?
agree with, yeah, that's his name.
Oh wow.
He's the director of it, I think too.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Man.
Um, I agree with him. Take more photos, man. Take more photos of where you're from. Take more photos of your family. Take more photos of your life. That's what's gonna survive. And I don't mean digital ones. I mean print them out, bro. Like you can show them around. That's what'll last. Honestly. Um. Yeah. I mean that's what
True.
that is.
That's true.
Um. But I know we were going to react to the song, right?
Yeah.
But I think we covered everything. The song was just
Okay.
gonna sort of uh be a little extra if we didn't get to cover too much of the title, which is take more photos.
Okay.
But I don't really want to play it at the end because we have our outro music. It'll just be a little mucky.
Okay.
But honestly, we did cover everything. So,
Yeah.
any final thoughts?
Um. No, I also agree. I mean, you should take more photos.
Hmm.
Uh, like even my father, he doesn't really like to take photo. He doesn't take photos at all
Hmm.
basically. I mean, he's now started to take photos a little more, but
Hmm.
there's only what? There's 3 photos that I know of that we like have of him. 2 of those are when my siblings were like first born.
Hmm.
And then one is his military photo. So
Nice.
you know, I think
Mm,
he should definitely take in more photos. Um, luckily, I mean, he's starting to.
nice.
So yeah, that is pretty much all I got.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a good place to end it on, man. That's a great
Yeah,
message, honestly.
yeah. Like the
Um.
old uh song that my grandmother loved was "Un día a la vez."
Mhm. Ooh, I might need to hear that.
Yeah,
I might need to listen to that. You know what I'm saying?
it's a good song. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Okay. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this live reaction. Um, yeah, just tune in next time. We usually cover anime, manga. We cover
Sure.
list of different things. We will be incorporating some new things in the coming streams,
Mhm.
or at least some new genres, right?
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, thank you for stopping by, and we outie.
Sure.